What's in the stars and the cards ahead for you this week? Welcome to the weekly energy weather report. I am so excited that you are here because I do feel like the energy this week is that signaling of it's time to move on. But before you do, take a deep breath and pause. As empaths, highly sensitive people, intuitives, it's important that we're not motivated by fear or a false sense of urgency, that wonderful acronym of fear, false evidence of urgency appearing real, or however it goes, false energy appearing real. But that feeling of, oh no, I've got to do it now or I'll miss out. Take a deep breath. Many times, as a sensitive person, as an empath, picking up on all the feelings around us, it can be hard to distinguish what belongs to us, what belongs to someone else. That's why I love, love, love to meet with you every week. Great when we can get together live. So those who are watching live, please say hello, drop your name, where you're watching from, or if you consider yourselves an empath. I love being able to have this dialogue in the community because as you comment and share, we can see parts of ourselves reflected like, wow, I didn't know anybody else felt like that. Or I didn't know that it was a rare thing to see words in colors or to hear things like ringing in my ear or to just get words to pop into my head when somebody is debating a question. There's all sorts of ways that as an empath, you're picking up on this data all around you. It's part of what I love to do is make the invisible visible. So just like we have radio waves around us and microwaves and 5G waves that we can't see, X-rays, but they're there nonetheless. Scientists have measured them and have proven that they exist, even though we can't register them. It's the same thing with the subtle energy. When you're picking up on intuitive guidance from your angels, from loved ones on the other side, from God universe, and it can come through in a lot of different ways, intuition. And that's my joy, teaching you how to speak the language of intuition. So knowing your intuitive gifts, are you clear feeling, clear knowing, clear seeing, clear hearing, all the clairs. When you know how the information might be coming through more easily, and you can develop all of them, and there's more than just the four. But what happens is that it enables you to be on the alert for this intuitive guidance, these subtle messages of your angels looking out for you. And that's why it's so important that we take a moment to pause. We take that deep breath and we declutter our physical spaces, our emotion, our mind, and our hearts. It'll make all the difference. And I don't know why it's important to say this now, but I'm going to go off on a teeny bit of a tangent. If you've ever had that moment where you've got to do a big project or task and you're like, I just have to clean up before I can begin. I have to clear my desk. I've got to clear the room. Well, as a highly sensitive person or an empath, intuitive, whatever name you connect with, what we're doing is almost like sonar. We're picking up on the data of the things around us. So if there are papers on the floor, and my office is a little cluttery because I'm getting ready for a big presentation. So I've got books all over the place and papers because I'm studying and I'm bringing together some cool things, but I can feel how it's creating a little bit of agitation and chaos in my space. So I have to work really hard to ground and to know that, all right, I'm going to have to become a little bit more organized in my preparation, because as I'm reaching out and I'm feeling, all of this data is coming back into me. I'm sending energy out and energy is being sent in, and I'm getting these pictures or these feelings of the things around me. That's why, like the curled up carpet edge or the picture that's crooked or the pile of papers on the table might not bother everyone. But if you are highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive, it might bother you because it's sending an energetic message to your spirit and making it very difficult to be present and concentrate and feel at ease. So know that physical clutter can have a big impact on us. And this is a week to evaluate. Is it time to let go of some of this stuff so that I can move on? So welcome, Hannah. So glad you're here. Julie, Chrissy, hello. Hello, Jasmine. Great to have all of you. So in order to really be present, I'm going to go ahead and bring us all through a quick grounding practice to clear our energetic field, to create strong, healthy, energetic boundaries as empaths. It's so important. The world needs you. It needs kind, caring, compassionate people who bring love and who bring the sensitivity. And it can be a pretty tough one for empaths to live in. But here are the tools that are going to help. So take a deep breath. Bring your awareness into the very center of your chest, imagining a color or word, saying your name. Maybe it's a sound or an image. Whatever that is for you that helps you recognize your individuality. And as you breathe, imagine a beautiful column of light coming from the center of the heavens down through the crown, the throat, the heart, the upper belly, the lower belly, down through the pelvic floor, between the legs, down through floors beneath you and 6 layers of earth. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I feel that little bit of panic. It's not always easy to visualize grounding to the earth, especially for fire signs and air signs. You want to move, you want to be quick, but just take a breath. And air signs as well. It's okay. By grounding to the earth, it doesn't mean you have to stay rooted in one spot or stuck. What it is it's like plugging in to recharge your batteries. It enables you to feel strong. It increases presence so that you're less likely to get whacked by other people's feelings and emotions. There you go. And down this beautiful beam of light goes through the topsoil. Breathe. Big belly breath. Subsoil. Down through a layer of granite. Okay. Ask yourself, what's the upside of not being grounded? Sometimes when there's a resistance or a hesitancy to do something, it's because there might be a concern, maybe a worry of being in the physical body and present to different physical aches or pains or heartaches. Maybe we want to disconnect and unplug. So just breathe. It's okay. When you are grounded, you're physically, your spirit is more fully in your body, because our spirit is bigger than this physical body. Our spirit, we're like filling up the big toe of it. This physical expression is an expression of the spirit. So rather than our spirit being contained in the human body, we're within our higher self, that spirit energy. Breathe. And what can happen is we can check out, because life gets hard as an empath. And we're seeing suffering. We're picking up on other people's emotions and taking them on as if they were our own, wanting to help. That was the old paradigm where we'd take on the energy and transmute it. There's a different way to do it now. This is what I go in depth with my Energy Alchemist students. But for now, that's it. And I just want to say hello to the heart. There's just a lot of intensity in the heart. And it's interesting because even if, as we popped on, I pulled a card to really tune into what was the theme that was coming through with this. And I picked up, and I think I shuffled her back in, the reverse 3 of Swords, which is a card that represents heartache and loss and grief and being able to move on. And it's not easy. The stories of our past can define us. And I heard a beautiful quote this morning from one of my teachers, and I want to share it with you. And it went something along the lines of, rather than being a product of our past, you're a student. Become a student of the past. So beautiful. Breathe. Don't let that past define you. You're co-creating your future, stepping into the dance of creation with divine, absolute light, God, universe. It's going to be okay. And why do I say it's going to be okay? Because plenty of times it's not okay. It really isn't. It's okay because you're not alone. You have friends in high places. You were never meant to go on this human adventure on your own. We're meant to be in community like this, have one another, and to be able to call on God universe, your angels, your guides. Call on them. You have free will. They won't step in and assist unless you ask. Breathe, breathe, deep breath. Let it out. Beautiful. And as you breathe, allow this beautiful column of light to continue to move through the subsoil, down through an energy center called the 10th chakra. It's our soul star. It connects us to earth. You belong here in this incarnation. Your spirit worked so hard to get here, to have this physical experience. Why? Well, there's lots of different ways we can tap in to tune in for that guidance. Natal charts one, that's why I love doing astrology. But just breathe. It's okay, it's safe. I want to invite you to say the beautiful affirmation from Louise Hay: I am safe. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Whatever comes from this moment will be good. I am safe. All is well. Breathe. Because even if we're in a moment of intensity and things really don't appear like they're well, just give yourself that breath and go into a state of groundedness, because here's the reason why. You're going to be able to more clearly connect with an inkling, an intuitive hit, a hunch, an inspiration from divine guidance, from God universe, your angels, guides. And that's going to enable you to take the next step to move forward to that place of where you feel really steadier and safer. Because if we're in an energetic state of distress and anxiety and worry and concern, it is very challenging, not impossible, but very challenging to hear guidance, which is bringing through the solutions. So deep belly breaths and allow this beautiful column of light to continue to move down through the granite, through a layer of fire, there you go, and through a layer of crystals, magma, to the very core and heartbeat of Mother Earth. Breathe. Release the feeling, the urgency to rush. And when the world speeds up, slow down to hear your soul, your higher self, and breathe. And anything that's in your space that isn't serving your highest, flush it to the earth. Little funny image. Imagine releasing it to the earth where it can be recycled into something of great beauty. And as you breathe in, fill in with a beautiful golden wave of light, filling your space, bringing you into an energy, a vibration, a frequency of energetic neutrality. Breathe. I'm just bringing through and channeling some energy for the heart. Something that's important to share here is that, again, as empaths, you know, we go into the world, I don't know about you, I know I go into the world with the heart open. And when the heart's open, you know, it's important that we're rooted, we're grounded, we've practiced good energetic hygiene, just like the root flush fill that I just shared. And if you want a copy of that, it's a little bit faster. Go to irenamiller.co/get calm, and you can get your own copy of it and listen to it again and again. So I'm going to try to put it up. There we go, on the screen so you can see the web address. But we go into the world, if we're not energetically grounded, if we haven't been practicing good energetic hygiene with an open heart, and people can cord and connect to it. Have you heard of cording, C-O-R-D? And when those, it's like an umbilical cord or like somebody's plugging into us. A lot of times it's done unconsciously. People aren't actively going around as energy vampires trying to drain your energy, but there are some who are aware. And it just drains you. And it makes a person, again, I don't know about you, but I know it can make, for me, that desire to kind of want to hide from the world and just kind of hole up. And the world needs your light. So practice a root flush fill to help strengthen your energetic field. And if there are any cords or connections to your heart center, I want to invite you to call on Archangel Michael. And imagine bringing through a beautiful violet light. And Archangel Michael's helping to bring this through and dissolve. Don't cut, because that leaves roots. That was an old way of doing it. So energetic practices are constantly updating and evolving as we update and evolve, as you're leveling up, as you're raising your vibe or your frequency. Dissolve this cord. And as you dissolve with violet light, Archangel Michael's help, any energetic cords to your being, especially the heart, any energy that belongs to someone else that's in your space, we're going to send it back to their angel or their guide and call your energy back to you. Call your spirit home, bringing it in through a beautiful golden light over the crown of your head and into your heart space, and breathe. And so it is. Can you feel the difference? Sometimes we have to do that multiple times during the day, but you're starting off on a good foot. So welcome. Glad to have you all. All right. So, hey, by the way, if we haven't met, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an astrologer, a spiritual life guide, what I call an energy alchemist. And it is my true joy to help connect with empathic, curious seekers like yourself and enable you to step into the life you were born to live by sharing sacred practices like I just shared. And I say an energy alchemist because I love to learn. And I love to learn many different spiritual modalities and practices. And so if I've initiated, certified, and studied in multiple different lineages, including astrology and crystal healing and tarot reading and, what else? Energy healing and mediumship. I love to learn. And I bring together very specific, unique practices for you to help you in the moment in time. So let's tune into what is the most important message that you need to hear going into this week ahead. Place your hand on your heart. And I'm going to just knock on the cards to clear the energy. It's a little technique, many different ways to clear cards. And I'm going to pull a card just asking what's most important that you need to know going into this week ahead. The High Priestess. So the High Priestess card is all about the fact that the answer you need is within yourself. It's not outside. So if you have been seeking answers, solutions outside yourself, you might feel frustrated. You've gathered all the information and knowledge that you need to know at this time. The High Priestess is saying, I know the answer, but I'm not going to tell you because it wouldn't mean as much coming from me. It's important that it comes from you. But she's not going to leave you alone, struggling and flapping in the wind if you sit with her, so to speak. Think about it more in a figurative way than a literal, but you sit in meditation or you slow down and pause and you say, okay, where do I need to release and let go? It's time to move on. The moon is in a waning energy this week. And that's part of the reason I say it's time to move on. When the moon is getting darker, we go to a new moon next week in Scorpio. This is a great week for letting go and releasing, clearing physical clutter, mental, emotional, cleaning out those closets. It's a great week for saying, okay, I want to start a weight loss plan. I want to let go of the extra fluff. But it's letting go and releasing. The other thing too, and here's why I say that the pause is so important this week, is that Mercury just went retrograde yesterday, and he went retrograde in Sagittarius. So there's this internal look. Mercury, the planet of communication, of thought, of intellect, is saying, I need to re-examine my beliefs, the Sagittarian qualities. What do I believe in? Is it still relevant and valid for this moment in time and where I want to go? And as a side note, whenever Mercury goes retrograde, back up your data, double check, your appointments and dates, just the traditional things. Double check, doctor's appointments. If you're traveling, make sure you really have the right time. Pay attention to your car, anything that's mechanical. Good morning, Shannon. Great to have you. The other thing this week is that Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of belief, of growth, of optimism, abundance, prosperity is also going retrograde. And he's going retrograde in an energy that represents safety and nurturing. And retrograde just simply means that it looks like the planet is moving backwards according to our visible place on Earth. When we look up in the sky, it looks like it's going backwards. It's not, it's an illusion. But when the planet goes, quote unquote, retrograde or backwards, it's saying go within, revise, review, recalculate, reassess, all of the re's. And Jupiter going retrograde helps to really accentuate Mercury, our thoughts. Let's re-examine our beliefs. Let's reassess, what we thought we needed in order to achieve the dream. And Jupiter is saying, okay, well, what about safety? Because he's hanging out in the area and the vibe of Cancer, which is nurturing and safety and making sure that you have some of your basic needs met when it comes to receiving love and giving love, nurturing, when it comes to feeling like I can let go and relax here. I feel at home. And Jupiter is saying, okay, let's re-examine those beliefs. And Jupiter is going to be in that re-examining period all the way until March. So you're setting the stage right now to help build your dream. We want to harness the energy. So ultimately, allow yourself to slow down enough this week, unplugging from news cycles, from all of the email onslaught and the marketing that is headed our way with the holidays. It's going to be a lot of noise. And that noise makes it hard to hear your higher self, to hear your guidance. I encourage you, carve out time during the day just to step away from the noise. And one of my beautiful, beautiful sacred practices that I love for this is maybe when you go to the bathroom, if it's, you're at home, you just turn out the light and you just stay in the bathroom for like an extra 2 minutes with the light off in the dark, eyes closed, or you go into your closet and you just say, oh, I'm going to just sit in the silence and I'm going to take 5 or 10 deep belly breaths. And that's going to enable you enough space to unplug from the noise and to hear guidance. Okay, so let's talk about the week day by day play now that we kind of know the overarching energy and what to expect. Make sure I didn't miss any messages. I love all of you gals and guys popping on today. So keep commenting away as intuitive hits hit ya. All right, so Monday, the moon starts off in Cancer, and that Cancer energy, feel into it. You might be a little bit more sensitive. You might feel the tears come a little more easily when you watch that commercial or you see that reel. Allow yourself just some space to nurture your feelings and emotions. It's important because your feelings are trying to tell you something. And when you do that, you have that joy, that tenderness towards yourself. You enable great healing to occur. Something that would be a wonderful practice for today is when you wash your hands, just imagine again releasing other people's energies and emotions down the drain. And you just take a deep breath in and you fill back up with that golden light as you're drying your hands. And little practices like that you can bring throughout the day. You don't have to take, hours and hours to sit meditating, like we could if we were in a Himalayan cave somewhere. But we're householders. We've got bills, responsibilities, duties. So find ways like that. That's part of the reason I'm here, to kind of point them out, to be that spiritual guide and say, hey, have you ever thought of this? This might work. Okay, so Monday, how can you make the most of Monday's energy? She really wants to pop out. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate the successes. This is the card that says it's time to recognize the accolades and the achievements. You have worked really hard to get to this spot. So breathe and reflect on where you've been and where you want to go. This kind of reminds me of ages ago when I was in university. I was taking this class and decision sciences, management information systems major. And one of the professors said, okay, so look at the want ads back in the days of papers and look for the jobs that you'd be interested in and what are they asking for? What kind of qualifications? And start to build your resume and your experiences so that you can apply for those jobs. What are they looking for? And this card has that feeling to it as I pull it out. Is there a dream that you have? And in order to achieve that dream, number one, just write out all of your accomplishments. You might surprise yourself at how much you've done. Life experiences, schooling, jobs, living. And then check in with your dreams. So all of that revisiting of beliefs and say, wow, okay, well, if I want to be a published author, or if I want to be YouTube star, if I want to be a teacher, or if I want to blah, 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 what's necessary to make those final steps to bridge the gap? Ooh, that's very interesting. I love what comes through. It's definitely channeled because I'm even tickled and surprised. I never know. Okay, so Tuesday, the moon is officially in Leo and Jupiter retrograde begins. So Leo energy is very playful. You might find it a little bit harder to work on Tuesday and Wednesday with the moon in Leo. You might want to play. You might want to let that inner child just have a moment to be satisfied, like dessert before dinner. You might want to channel that energy into something creative, like singing or dancing or reading poetry out loud to a loved one, which might be a little bit more Piscean, but still allow yourself to tap into that creativity. And any old stories around being good enough or not good enough, any stories where it's like, oh, I just didn't have the confidence, or do I have it to really, really make it? These are the moments to rewrite those stories. Flip the script. Watch how you're talking to yourself. Mercury retrograde is also saying that. The old stories, the old scripts that are coming up in your head that say, oh, what makes you think that you can do that? Not looking at the camera. I don't want to put that in your space or field. Rewrite the stories and be like, wow, in the past, I really worked hard to get to that spot. And now I know that I have these X, Y, Z, ABC steps in order to reach the goal and the dream. Let's say if it didn't work out before. So let's pull a card for Tuesday's energy. How can you make the most of it? Oh, all right. This card, the Nine of Swords. The phrase that came to mind is that old phrase that says, it's not worth crying over spilled milk. The Nine of Swords, she's very concerned and worried. She's waking up at 3 a.m. and everything seems so overwhelming. Like there's no possible solution or win. And it's heart-wrenching and painful to be in a Nine of Swords energy, very much like a dark night of the soul. But what this is saying is all of those dark thoughts in the morning, when the sun comes, it's going to change. They're going to become doves. The solutions will appear. So if you are woken up and the worries and the fears start to circle, take a deep breath and ask your angels, can you hold on to this for me until the morning light? And help me, dear God, inspire me, bring a dream to find a solution. But for now, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to hand it to the angel. You can write it down too. Get it out of your head and onto paper. And if you get an intuitive hit that you need to check on something at that point, then by all means. But just as a side note, I get chills. So I woke up one night kind of like that, right? In the wee hours of the morning. And I'd fallen asleep on the couch. So I gathered my things. And as I was going to the room, I noticed I had a message on my phone. And sure enough, very naughty. But when you have family members who are not well and you have kids, you kind of always want to keep the phone nearby just in case there's, an important message that comes through like, SOS mom. So a message came through and it's like, oh, your subscription for 4 years has been renewed. It was a calendar entry on my Google Calendar. And it had like a huge monetary amount. And I thought, what? I don't know what this is. I didn't okay that. And I went into a panic. My heart started racing. I looked at the calendar entry and it said, if you have any questions, call this number, email this support system. It looked so legit. And as I took that deep breath and I thought, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Do I click something? Like I felt that little angelic tapping saying, wait, pause, Irina, wait. Just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Look at this in the morning. Don't do anything right now. Now, I've experienced situations before that were real and not so great. And as I tried to go to sleep and follow that intuitive advice, guidance from my angels, like look at it in the morning, I just got worried again. And I thought, well, let me check email if there's a message. And then I thought, let me just do a Google scam search. And sure enough, I found that it was a scam. And I thought, okay, I'll go back to sleep. I just needed to do that extra little check. So take a deep breath. If those worries and fears hit you in the wee hours of the morning, even if it's something intense like that, you can say, okay, angels, please help hold on to that. And if you still you're still feeling that fear, take a deep breath, maybe take an investigative next step, but pause before you act. Breathe. That's why grounding is so, so important. And Jasmine, yes, today, oh, you felt a little dizzy. Yeah, the energy, and that goes into some of the frequencies that we're experiencing. And I am going to talk a little bit more about Three Eye Atlas. Some of you reached out to me when I mentioned that last week, and you said you'd be interested in hearing, I guess, my thoughts on it. So I'll share that in another video, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to pull, tune into Wednesday's energy, because I pulled the card already for Tuesday. So Wednesday, the moon's still in Leo, and this is a last quarter moon. With last quarter moons, what I love is the ability to, oh, now that's interesting. Hey, can you guys hear me and see me? Because all of a sudden it said that I need to go live. If I hide that, okay, so if you hear me and see me live, please let me know, give me a little emoji. Because I don't know if I clicked something and I got rid of the go live. Oh, you can hear me, Jasmine. Thank you. Oh, bless you, bless you. Okay, shoo. Isn't that interesting? Now that's a Mercury in retrograde kind of moment. For some reason, I thought, oh, I got this. Oh, there's a lot of interference around. Okay, that's why we need to ground. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Jasmine. Oh, you guys are my earth angels. Thank you, Shannon. Much love to all of you. Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. So Mercury in retrograde, always double check. I'm so, so grateful for all of you letting me know. Okay, so Wednesday, last quarter moon. I always feel like last quarter moons are a great time to practice forgiveness towards yourself and for other people. So thinking about that crying over spilled milk, or thinking about the old beliefs and stories down that Jupiter's gone retrograde, and the confidence that might have gotten whacked. Like I tried it before. I had a teacher and who's amazing, who's written so many books now, but her very first book that she wrote, when she shared it with a client who was a publisher, the person came back and she was like, I have one question for you. And my teacher said, yes. And the publisher said, is English your first language? It's like knife and heart, right? And she threw away she tossed the manuscript into the closet and just locked it away for quite some time. But thank God she found that confidence again through an incredible trusted human guide to bring her stories back out. And because they're so impactful, but things like that, people just say things and they don't realize how much it can wound us as an empath. So we ground, and this is a time for forgiveness for ourselves, maybe where we let go or we feel like we've made a mistake, forgiveness towards others if we feel like they've said something and maybe it got us stuck or blocked, or we still have old heart wounds around it. And there are practices you can do for that. I love the Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that comes from sacred Hawaiian traditions. And it is powerful, whether you say that to yourself or whether you say that, towards someone else. If you feel you've done harm to them or you've been on the other side and received harm. Okay, so let's pull a card for Wednesday. How can you make the most of the energy? Love. Love is the answer, a fullness of love, the 10 of Cups. So bring love to the situation. So we do all things with love. This can also represent cottage industry. You're with your family, you're feeling loved, safe, and being held. So lean into that love. What we train our eyes and heart to see, we will see. We'll find it. If we're looking for the harm and the hurt and the anger and the frustration in this world, we'll find it. If we're looking and striving to see the goodness and the beauty around us, we'll find that. So just tuning your eyes and heart into those uplifting, beautiful things. All right, so Thursday, Virgo moon. Yay! I love a Virgo moon. So I don't know, can't clear lead. I don't want to say it that way. Virgo moons, I feel like I can get my whole to-do list done, lots accomplished. So if there is something where you want to streamline, organize, declutter, admin work, utilize Thursdays and Fridays, Virgo moon. You can be very productive. You might find yourself being more focused, being able to pay attention to the details with more ease. Great for organizing and cleaning. So if the clutter's been getting to you, Monday, Monday through Wednesday, you might not quite feel like doing it, especially with that Leo moon, because Leo's like, oh, I want to play. What do you mean I have to do chores? Virgo moon is like, yay, chores. So Thursday, Friday, that Virgo moon, lean into it as far as being productive and getting things done. And if you find worries come up and your mind is spinning, because Virgo really responds to the mercurial energy, Mercury thoughts, and can get into worry and anxiety, make your hands busy. Do something, sweep the floor, mow the lawn, dust, crochet something, knit something, make your hands busy. It'll put the worries and your mind at ease. Okay, how can you make the most of Thursday? Four of Cups, it's not greener on the other side. The grass isn't greener over there. Remember, a lot of times we see the highlights to people's lives on social media. We don't always see the behind the scenes. And this also reminds me of the overnight stories. So many times we'll see somebody reaching a pinnacle of success and it looks like, oh my God, they were a success overnight. And then you hear their story and you realize, wow, it's taken them 2 or 3 decades to get to this point. They just kept showing up consistently, doing their work little bit by little bit, and it compounded over time. A lot of times, and I don't feel that it's my audience at all. I don't feel like it's all of you who are tuning in and watching, but there are people who look for the shortcuts or the quick wins. And I think what can happen is the people that I normally draw in, many of you, and you can let me know in the comments, we're not afraid of taking the hard way. There's a great sense of accomplishment. There's a great sense of developing resiliency and strength and being able to persevere, even through the tough times. I'm very proud to lean into the fact that I come from a long line of survivors and consider myself a survivor as well. Of course, I want to thrive, but I'm not going to forget those roots of that built the resiliency and the strength to live in this world. So lean into your strengths and realize that sometimes people are just spinning the highlights. One of the things that took me a long time to realize, because I used to say, oh, wow, these people are having these great successes. And then you realize afterwards that they're leaving out big parts of the story. When you slow down, when you pause, when you breathe, you're able to move on more easily from the fishtails, from the false beliefs, or people trying to pull a fast one. Okay, so let's pull a card for Thursday. What's most important that you need to know for Thursday's energy? It takes time. It reminds me of the George Harrison song, I've got my mind set on you, right? But it's going to take time. A whole lot of, how does he say it? Oh, the words will come to me, but you could Google the lyrics for that song, George Harrison, I've got you on my mind, or however the title is. But it takes time, it takes energy, it takes tending. These dreams will come into fruition, but it's important you pay attention to them and the details. It's one thing to kind of throw a wish out there. I wish for fill in the blank. But if you're not paying attention to the details to help get you there, then it becomes very challenging to achieve the goal. It's like tracking the data. A whole lot of spending money. Yes, Angela. Yes, thank you. That's it. Yeah, precious time. It's going to take time. Precious time. Oh, I get chills. See, this is why it's so great to have us all together. Goodness. Sometimes I feel like the angels and guides on the other side are like, Irina, 2 words, 3 syllables. Like, okay. Yeah, it's going to take patience and time to do it. That's right. Angela, beautiful. See, you're my earth angel today. I love it. Thank you for sharing that with me. Oh, I'm chills. So Friday, the moon is still in Virgo. Watch the areas where perfectionism might have held you back. And that's hard, right? Have you ever heard it's better done than perfect? I can't even remember how the saying goes because I don't like it. It has to feel right. And again, I think that's the empathic nature. It's the intuitive moment where we're picking up on the vibes. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. That could be a Virgo thing that might lean into a little bit of perfectionism. But, if you've ever had anybody tell you, oh, your standards are too high, or, oh, it does better done than perfect, or it doesn't need to be like this, check in with your soul. Because it might, here's the other thing. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but growing up, it was a very popular saying to say, don't judge a book by its cover, which great message meant basically don't judge a person by the way they look. What I found though, as a little intuitive, empathic kid, was I was picking up on how they energetically looked and felt. And what I ended up doing was I ended up ignoring those intuitive, energetic messages that I received because I thought, oh, don't judge, And what I realized over time is that I was seeing beyond the physical. I was picking up on other things. And I got myself into a lot of tricky situations because I didn't trust that intuition because I thought I was judging a book by its cover. There's such little nuances and details. But sometimes I feel as empaths, and I don't know, let me know for you, but I know for myself, I can be highly impressionable. And so the more that I ground, the easier it is to kind of cut through the fogginess and connect with the truth. So that Virgo energy, if there's something that has been keeping you stuck or holding back, just bring some kind of momentum. And that could be cleaning out the junk drawer or the clutter or, doing the laundry. And all of a sudden, energy begets energy, as my grandmother would say. The movement starts to happen. So even saying, I'm going to clean or even sip a cup of hot tea, just nice and slowly. Okay, what do you need to know to make the most of Friday's energy? 6 of Cups. So take a moment to reminisce. Maybe you connect with a loved one from the past. Retrogrades are great from that. Our ghosts come back out. We reach back out to other people. But just connect with love, connect with, looking through photo albums or the like. And Jasmine, you said when you were 18, you could pick up on people's vibrations. Yeah. And also see them in dreams. Yeah. I get chills. It's very interesting, especially as a little one, as an empath or an intuitive, you might have picked up on secrets that the adults were hiding and you shared that. And then they're like, no, that's not true. Or stop telling tales out of school. It's tricky. And that's why a lot of people shut down their intuitive abilities and psychic abilities because they were gaslighted as children or it was made fearful or unacceptable in their culture. So anyway, again, topic for a different time. And I get into that with the Energy Alchemist. And if you're interested in the Energy Alchemist program, let me know. Just drop a little heart emoji and I can share more with you. But in the meantime, let's talk about Saturday. Saturday, Libra moon. So Libra moon, I love the Libra energy because I'm learning more and more about it as a Libra myself. But what I mean about loving it is that sometimes Libra energy is seen to be indecisive. And like, oh, they just can't make up their mind. They're always flip-flopping. But here's the thing, and I loved hearing it described like this because I thought, yeah, that is what I do. Even though I'm a Libra sun, not a Libra moon, you might experience this with the Libra moon energy, is that you want to be fair and you want it to be a win-win situation. So in that case, when somebody presents you with a choice or make the decision, let's say to go out to eat, you say, okay, well, let me see what, group of friends A over here really loves, and then group of friend B over here. And you're like, okay, well, they're gluten intolerant and they love Italian food. And you're like, okay, well, how can I make the best option? Okay, find the Italian restaurant with like the salad bar or whatever it is. But it takes a long time to come to an understanding, but it's very well thought out and very intentional. It just takes extra time. So with the Libra moon, you might be weighing your options. You might be doing your research. It might feel like 1 minute you're hot, 1 minute you're cold, but give yourself that time to just kind of recognize, okay, I'm looking for that sweet spot. If you've been over compromising in an area just to keep the peace, recognize that, because sometimes the Libras can throw themselves underneath the bus in order to just avoid the conflict. And that's no good in the long run. All right. So how can you make the most of that energy on Saturday? So interesting. Same cup came up, or card came up, the Six of Cups. Reflect back. Where, and six is a Libra number. It's balance. It's 3 and 3. So ask yourself, in my relationships in the past, what felt like it was in divine right exchange of energy, that you didn't feel taken advantage of, that you didn't feel like you were taking advantage of, but it felt like a healthy balance, because learning from the past can inform your future decisions. And that's really cool. With this retrograde, I'm going to encourage you to do that. Okay, so Sunday, the moon is in Libra. And that Libra energy still very diplomatic. It is craving beauty, harmony. Maybe you even decide over the weekend, after clearing out the clutter, that you're like, wow, now that I can see my space, I want to rearrange the furniture, or I want to get new artwork or lighting. I just want to make it feel even more beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. Or you want to have friends over, just getting together with, people. It's a very social energy, the Libra. So how can you make the most of the energy on Sunday? Ooh, another 6 card, the Lovers. Ooh, hubba hubba. This card, okay, yeah, maybe you find a tall, dark, sexy someone, or a little dark, sexy someone. But the thing is that this is a choice card. Choices are presented. And the Lovers card is a decision point. And it reminds me, do you ever see the Goonies and they're playing the music and it's like, you got to play the notes right, otherwise the floor crumbles away? This is a card that says, choose based on what really resonates with your soul, that it feels like you're coming home. Don't choose out of fear. Don't choose out of greed. Avoid choosing out of lust or anything that just wouldn't have you in connection with your heart space, with integrity. Because this card, when we choose out of integrity, or we look for the quick relief or the quick win, or maybe a better way to say it is not so much the quick win, but like the hit of satisfaction. Like, here's an example, because I know I was talking about how I don't normally go for quick wins, but in some places I do. So, if I hear something or read something or experience a wave of sadness or a feeling of being less than, I can really want to eat something that's very sugary, like milk chocolate. And so it's not like I can't even say, oh, I'm eating dark chocolate. It's the good for you kind, because I need that dopamine hit. Like, I know I need just that rush to feel better. Like, how can I feel better? I don't want to sit with the sadness. I don't want to sit with this heartache. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is just be mindful of that. So that would be a situation where I would choose a quick win, and then it would lead to an energy that is called like the devil energy, where we kind of are doing things that are harmful for us in the long run. It might be a quick relief, but in the long run, needing, copious amounts of sugary milk chocolate to feel better isn't going to help in the long run. I'm avoiding the feeling. I'm gaining weight. The sugar levels are going up. So to breathe, find other solutions. And, with the Libra moon, one of the things that you can do is you can talk it out with someone. You can talk it into your phone. You can journal about it, or you can move your body. Moving your body is a great way to process the emotion up and out, or even the deep belly breaths. Okay, this has been, all of you, thank you so much for being here with me live, for tuning into the replay. This is always such a delight to have this time with you. And thank you for hanging in this long. If you're still here with me, drop a little star emoji. I'm so, so thankful for all of you. And thank you for the work that you're doing to keep this world such a loving, bright place, and to help others know that they're not alone on their journey, that there is someone out there who cares. It makes all the difference. All right. So until we meet again next Monday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, trust your vibes, follow your heart. Please do like, subscribe, share. It helps out so very much. Share it with a friend. And yeah, if you'd like to hear more of something or less of something, please let me know. because I do want to share the spiritual practices and the astrology to make it accessible to you, but I know these go long. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Julie, for being here. Thank you, Hannah. So great to have you. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, this week is a loving one. Yes, most definitely. And thank you, Angela. And Chrissy, thank you, Jasmine. All right, I'll catch you all here next week. Much love. Bye, guys.